Doctor Who, Image of the Fendahl, the 20th story of the 4th Doctor, is written by Chris Boucher and starring Tom Baker and Louise Jameson. On 2nd of May 1977, Chris Boucher was hired to write the story. He delivered the first episode just 2 days later, the final one being submitted on 17th of June. Boucher had drawn on the 1967 film instead of the 1958 TV original Quatermass and The Pit, and the 1959 Kurt Vonnegut novel The Sirens of Titan, including the discovering of an alien skull linked to occult symbols, alien influence of mankind's evolution, and a dormant alien influence being brought to bear in contemporary humanity. He took an inspiration from the work of archaeologist Louis Leakey, who had been excavating human remains for many years until he passed away in 1975. Chris Boucher named Colby's dog Leakey as a tribute to him. He later realised that people would assume that the name came from he urinated all over everything. Terence Dick's subsequent novelisation of the story, Fact, gives both reasons for the name. At the initial read-through, Tom Baker made many jokes of the script. Yeah, and unfortunately Chris Boucher didn't approve, so he left. But also he was working on Blake 7 for 4 years, and as BBC didn't want anyone working on 2 shows at the same time, Boucher would write another script concerning an alien Gestalt entity for the 1981 Blake 7 episode Rescue. Graham Williams previously worked with George Spenton Foster, the director, on Z-Cars, and chose him to direct the story due to his experience with the night filming. Spenton Foster would direct one more time for the next season, the Ribos Operation. Robert Holmes stayed as a script writer for the first 3 stories, while his successor Anthony Reed trailed him in preparation for taking over the role. Anthony Reed was an experienced director and producer. He only agreed to the position of the script editor because, like I said in Horror of the Fan Rock retrospective, he was intrigued by the chance to work on Doctor Who. When Robert Holmes finished Horror of Fan Rock and The Invisible Enemy before leaving due to the creative exhaustion, Image of the Fendahl fell to Anthony Reed. The exterior scenes were filmed in the Stargroves estate in Hampshire, owned by Mick Jagger. The same location had been used during the shooting of Pyramids of Mars. The filming started on Monday, the 1st of August 1977, and finished on the following Thursday. This included 2 night shoots for the story on the Tuesday and Wednesday evenings. The first night's filming was disrupted when the generator caught fire. Another generator had to be ordered from London and arrived at 4 a.m. Filming at the estate had only been agreed on the 26th of July, less than a week before filming began, with the instruction, as being the case with Pyramids of Mars, that no effects or explosions were to be undertaken, given that the property was a Grade 2 listed building. 2 days after filming was done, Tom Baker and Louise Jameson went to the first ever Doctor Who convention in London. So the story begins at the village of Vegeborough. Thea Ransom and Adam Colby were testing the 12-million-year-old skull found in Kenya and was given a nickname Eustace. When Dr. Fendelman starts using a sonic time scan trying to get an image of the skull's owner, it locked itself onto Thea. While a hiker goes on a walk, he gets killed. Meanwhile, in the TARDIS, the Doctor and Leela were concerned about the damaged canine. Now, Professor Marius wouldn't be happy about that. But then the TARDIS is affected by relative continuum displacement zone, a hole in time. The Doctor traced it to Earth, and the TARDIS materialised in the field full of cows. So Leela, seemingly attacking Ted Moss, the Doctor offers jelly babies. He says there's something strange going on in the Priory. Adam has found the hiker's corpse and suggested reporting it, but Fendelman wanted that covered up because they didn't want police interrupting their experiments. Fendelman tells Stale to do the post-mortem on the body and to call London and tell Hartman to send armed guards. Thea and Colby finds out the lockdown, though the security team leader, David Mitchell, so Martha Tyler had an argument with him, but Stale reports to Fendelman his no ability to discover the cause of Hiker's death. However, the outward signs are that the man died very recently, the body is disintegrating, and the body was disposed of. The Doctor and Leela investigates the Priory. Thea switches on the time scanner, and the skull began to glow. Leela splits up from the Doctor and investigates a nearby cottage with the shotgun fired.
Leela. She's done it again.
The Doctor couldn't run, like he's paralysed, as the creature was about to consume him. It's a fantastic cliffhanger. I love the sound and the look that the skull makes. I thought it was scary. Really does give me the goosebumps. The Doctor managed to get control of his legs and ran away from the creature. Leela got inside the cottage. There was Ted Moss with a shotgun. So Jack Tyler came in and got Leela to put down the gun, talking to her after got rid of Ted Moss. So the skull, Fendahl, seemed to mind control Thea, which got Mitchell killed. The Doctor and Colby came and watched Thea glowing after it was over for now. The Doctor was coming up with a plan to help, but Fendahl men came in, accused the Doctor for Mitchell's murder and got him locked up in the storage room. So the Doctor tries to get himself out, but he couldn't, as he kicks the boxes with frustration. So eventually the door swung open, and the Doctor walked out. As Adam was about to phone the police, the phones were down, and suspected that the skull is an alien. But Dr. Fendelman shows him an X-ray pentagram as part of the bone structure, and he believes it is a neural circuit that stores energy and then eventually signals to others that there are intelligent life on planet. As Martha Tyler came back to cottage, she was petrified, saying that something was after her, hungry for her soul. As Thea was looking for the Doctor, as she believes that he could help her, she's inside a room and Stale came in saying she's the key to his power, the chosen one, so he got her unconscious with chloroform. We get a musing scene where the Doctor offers the skull a jelly baby.
Would you like a jelly baby? No, I didn't suppose you would.
But then as he puts his hand on the skull, it glows, with the Doctor screaming in pain. Tom Baker is fantastic as the Fourth Doctor. He really nails it. Louise Jameson is badass as Leela. I really like her look in this story. Very nice. Apparently this is Louise Jameson's favourite story because it was written by Chris Boucher, who wrote her first story, The Face of Evil, although she decided to leave at the end of the season 15 while making of this story, Image of the Fendahl. Also, the reason why her hair was up was because someone accidentally cut 6 inches of it, so it had to be up. But eventually at the end, when she has her hair down, wearing her iconic skin leather outfit, it was due that it was grown. K9 is very briefly in this serial, as no one knew that K9 would have been the companion when it was written. John Leeson wasn't casted at the time. Wanda Ventham plays Thea Ransom, a scientist who studies Eustace, the human skull, and apparently she's the chosen one and turns into the Fendahl core. I thought she did a really great job. Did you know Wanda Ventham is Benedict Cumberbatch's mum? Google it if you don't believe me. I'm not joking, that's definitely true. Wanda previously played Jean Rock in The Faceless Ones, and later played Faroon in Time of the Rani. Wanda Ventham auditioned for Jill Masterson in Goldfinger, Sean Connery's James Bond film, but Shirley Eaton got it, and therefore was excited to be painted gold in this story. As would have been the case of Goldfinger, Wanda had to wear a dark colour wig, as George Spenton Foster thought the natural blonde loses incredibility to become a scientist. Fendahl is a guest-starred entity from Planet 5. I thought they're pretty cool. Dennis Lill plays Dr. Fendelman, a businessman who founds the skull. He's brilliant too. Anthony Bates, John Franklin Robbins, Michael Goff, Robert Hardy and William Lucas were considered for the role. Dennis Lill later played George Hutchinson in The Awakening. Dennis played Alan Parry in a British sitcom series Only Fools and Horses. And get this, his character's wife is Pamela Parry, and she's played by Wanda Ventham also.
It's a small world.
Yeah. Scott Fredericks plays Maximilian Stale, a scientist who's in charge of Coven. He made a good twisted mind villain. Scott previously played Bose in Day of the Daleks. George Spenton Foster later casted him as Cornell in an episode of Blake 7, Weapon, alongside Graham Simpson, who also appears in the story. Edward Arthur plays Adam Colby, a scientist, he's grade 2. Jeffrey Hinsliff plays Jack Tyler, who lives in Fedgeborough. I really like him, he's canny. Jeffrey later played Fisk in Nightmare of Eden. Daphne Hurd plays Martha Tyler, Jack's grandmother. She gives off great performance. And look at the odds. Jack and Martha Tyler. Wow! Derek Martin plays David Mitchell, aka Harry Mitchell, the head of Fendelman's security. He's grade 2. Derek Martin had appeared many times in Doctor Who as an extra from 1965 and subsequently as a stuntman with the Havoc group, who had taken part in a number early stories during John Pertwee's run. Edward Evans plays Ted Moss, who works in Stales Coven. He's grade 2. George Simpson plays a hiker. The casts have done a great job. The effects is pretty good. The direction by George Spenton Foster and music by Dudley Simpson are phenomenal. Luckily, Leela rescued the Doctor in time from putting his hand on a glowing skull by knocking him off the chair. The Doctor believes that it's Fendahl, so he and Leela went to the cottage. The Doctor tries to speak to Mrs. Tyler while Jack is making tea, and I love the fact that she woke up and all she can go on about is fruitcakes and her favourite mugs. So she later said the figure she saw was a woman. Meanwhile, at chapel, as Thee woke up, Stale injected her. After that, he held Fendelman and Colby at gunpoint, got them to turn the scanner off, and ties them on the pillars. So the Doctor and Leela went inside the TARDIS to follow the Time Fisher and find Fendahl's home planet, but they find the planet has been placed in a time loop, making it and all its records permanently invisible. The Doctor said only the Time Lords could do that. As the ceremony prepares, Fendelman gets shot by Stale, so the Doctor and Leela came back to Jack and Martha Tyler in the Priory. All of a sudden, they can't move, so then there comes the Fendahl and move towards the group.
What's happening? Why can't we move?
It's psychotelekinetic.
The Doctor grabbed Jack's gun and shot the creature. It was loaded with rock salt. Meanwhile, Thee's body turns into a golden angel type thing, wearing cloak, and slowly stands up. I thought that was terrifying. Moss gets killed and turns into Fendahlian. The Doctor and Leela manage to get Colby out, but Stale already looked into her eyes, and there wasn't anything the Doctor can do except hand him a gun to shoot himself, which I'm surprised it's not been talked about much. After that, the Doctor realises the Fendahl requires 13 Fendahlian to become an incredibly powerful Gestalt entity, but with Stale and Fendahlian dead, the creature is not fully completed. The Doctor thought the Fendahl may have guided human evolution. This explains mankind's darker nature. While he's working on Scanner, Leela and Jack are attacked by Fendahl's forces and kill one of the Fendahlian. Doctor used the scanner to destroy the building. He and Leela got into the basement and retrieved the skull, while Fendahl core tried to stop them. With the skull gone, the core became powerless and destroyed the building, as Jack, Colby and Martha took cover, fancying a cuppa. In the end, at the TARDIS, the Doctor finds a supernova to drop the skull in, and he accepts K9 as his dog. This is a fantastic serial. It's criminally underrated. There's some scary stuff in there. What did you think of Image of the Fendahl? Let me know in the comments down below. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.